This one is for the UFC 272 main event between the welterweights that hate each other at the moment, which makes it even better. Colby Covington and Jorge Masvidal. Okay, quick tail of the tape. We'll rattle through this. 16-3 for Colby Covington. 35-15 for Jorge Masvidal. Same height, both 5'11", pretty much the same reach. I mean, Masvidal's got a 2-inch reach advantage. Covington here is listed as orthodox. I'm not exactly sure why that is. Covington is predominantly southpaw. Masvidal switches his stance, but he's predominantly orthodox. But he's confident and comfortable to switch his stance to southpaw if it's useful to him. You'll see him do that in the Darren Till fight. As far as strikes landed per minute, I mean, they've got very similar stats here. Masvidal's got a 10% advantage in striking accuracy and a 10% advantage in striking defense. But the stat that's really going to be important in this fight, I think, and we all know that, is 75% takedown defense for Masvidal. Covington, of course, his takedown accuracy is 46%, which is a decent stat. You know, he's scoring every other takedown he's trying. And if you think his game is not really to take someone down once and hold them down and finish them there, it's to take them down multiple times and make that a big part of his arsenal, make the depletion of their gas tank and the fatigue that sets in after that a big part of his game plan. Then of course, 50% takedowns is a really good stat, and he's going to know Masvidal. This is the other reason why we're so interested in this fight, is because these guys used to live together, they used to train together. Masvidal was a few years ahead of him as far as being a pro, but they would have learned so much from one another. Covington was brought in to help him with his wrestling, with his scrambling ability, which we know he has because we've seen so many improvements in Masvidal's game. He's very, very good takedown defense. He's very aware when he's on the floor, when his neck's being threatened, and when his back's attempting to be taken. Whatever Covington's bringing to the octagon, it's going to be difficult because Masvidal's already seen a lot of it. The same thing goes with Masvidal's striking. And of course, they've both made improvements. Colby will be a better MMA wrestler than he was when he was a Masvidal training partner. And Masvidal has most definitely become a better, more mature striker over the years. They'll have a familiarity with one another's rhythm. They'll have a familiarity with the preferences. And they'll also know each other quite well psychologically, where the point is and where they start to struggle and break and doubt themselves, if that is at all a thing. Their skill sets are one thing, but their mindsets are another entirely. Covington, you just can't discourage the man. He keeps going continuously. He has this self-belief which is overpowering when it comes to mixed martial arts, when it comes to his opponents, because they do break under his pressure. They do break under the volume and the intensity that he throws at them. But then with Masvidal, he plays with them, he toys with them, he big brothers them sometimes, like he did against Nate Diaz, like he did against Darren Till. I mean, it was almost like with the Nate Diaz fight, it was a bit cat and mouse for me. I know a lot of people felt like I say a lot. I know some people would argue that it was competitive and Nate was hanging in there, but I don't know. I felt like Masvidal was kind of toying with him a little bit. I'll be honest. It didn't feel like Masvidal was putting his foot on the gas. And I didn't feel at any point in that fight week that Masvidal gave the impression that he was concerned in any way about Nate. I think it would have been a different experience if he was fighting Nick, but I think Masvidal knew that he had Nate's number. So he was happy to kind of maybe drag the fight out a little bit in times when he could have finished. With Covington, he's going to be lethal at every opportunity. But that will also be met by Covington's resilience to that. So the short-range elbows and knees that Masvidal can land, his tenacity in the scrambles has to match Covington. Otherwise, he'll get worn down and he'll get defeated in the distance. He has to create those opportunities for him to strike, because that's where Covington's going to be trying to suffocate him and take him away. And if Covington is be able to get him to the floor, then this is where fatigue is enemies of us all. Covington might be able to take Masvidal. Say he scores 50% of his takedowns and he attempts 4 takedowns a round. He's taking Masvidal down twice. Even if he tries 2 takedowns a round, he's probably going to take him down once a round. Masvidal's got to work up back to his feet, in which case he's either going to give his back, or he's going to give top position, or he's going to open himself up to Covington in some way. Or if nothing else, he's going to spend a few gas credits getting back to his feet. Masvidal's got to do damage in the early couple of rounds. If he doesn't, then Covington's going to start to gain confidence because he knows Masvidal's diminishing. And if Masvidal starts to show that pressure, show that frustration of looking up at the referee or looking up at the clock to see how long he's got left, or looking over to his corner team and being like, yeah, no, he's just holding on to me. That is frustration. And we see it sometimes with fighters that get stuck on the floor. Like, makes people do silly things. It makes people spend energy they don't want to expend. And Covington's back-taking skills are dangerous. For me, it's the first 2 rounds for Masvidal. The middle round's the swing, and then the 4th and 5th round is where Covington really starts to come on strong. I keep going back and forth on this. You know, in my heart, I kind of want Masvidal to win because I like the authenticity of his character, and I'm not as keen on the theatrics that Covington brings to the table. But I also am aware that might make me underestimate the toughness and durability of Covington, and that really is where I feel like this fight is won and lost.